morning, welcome back to the channel. It's Thursday morning today, and come to this machine. This is a machine I serviced about 10 days ago, and it had a couple of historic codes for the AdBlue pressure stabilisation. Now what I did while I was servicing it, because it was an AdBlue pressure fault, I put a new AdBlue filter in it. I also pulled the exhaust cover off and had a look at the AdBlue injector. Now since then, it was when I was getting my tow bar fitted, I looked this machine up on the Devellon Connect app, or Devellon Fleet Management, and it had faulted again since I'd fitted the AdBlue filter. And then when I was up at HQ, I was talking to my man in the warranty department, and they've had 2 or 3 with the same error code, and it appears that the pressure sensor inside the AdBlue pump can be a bit dodgy. So I've got a new AdBlue pump and I'm going to put it on. Is what I'm going to do, and hopefully that'll cure it. There's no real-time codes. The annoying thing is this error code, it's happened 6 times. AdBlue pressure stabilisation error at detection mode. So it's only at a certain point during its working cycle that it throws an error for the AdBlue pressure. Because if you remember, when I serviced it, I worked the machine for about half an hour and I couldn't get it to fault. And the pressure, I was watching the pressure, monitoring it through a graph, and it only deviated by 0.2 of a bar, plus or minus, and the deviation, it needs to be plus or minus 0.5 of a bar for more than 50 seconds before the error code is raised. So that's what I'm on with today. It's very busy at the minute. Look, we've got a wagon loading another wagon, and then we've got the forwarder on its way up the hill as well. So I'm right in the middle of the danger zone. So I'm just gonna hang around till all these logs are thrown onto that wagon, because my van's the other side of that getting loaded, and yeah, I don't want a log to slip out the grab and hit me. So I'll probably just stay here now while these wagons are getting loaded. So here's your AdBlue pump. That's obviously the new one, it's the old one. So yeah, in here there's a pressure sensor, or in here there's a pressure sensor apparently that gives, or has been giving trouble. Now these are bad to get hold of at the minute, which tells me that they're reworking them. So this new one should have a better, what's it called? Better sensor in it. That's the story I've been told anyway. So yeah, I will get this swapped out, run it up. Like I said, that's the trouble with an intermittent fault, is I don't really know. I'll run it again for half an hour and just check the AdBlue pressure. I did run it for 10 minutes there, and I did notice the pressure was a little more unstable than it was the last time I was here. I think at one point it did actually get up to 11 bar, which to me is very high considering the operating pressure should be 9 bar, but it was only at 11 bar for like 2 or 3 seconds, where it needs to be 50 seconds before the fault code's brought on. So yeah, I'll go and slip this one in and button it back up and see what happens. That's where it lives, just in here. Just 4 bolts, take the step off, 3 bolts hold it on, a plug, and 3 AdBlue lines. So you can see this pipe here goes up to the injector. There's only one pipe that goes up to the injector, and that gets loaded up. And then the AdBlue, this one's the backflow one, goes back into the tank, and this one's the suction one. sucking off the bottom of the tank into the AdBlue pump here. What I might do is take the cover off that and show you the pressure sensor. So while I'm here at this 160, this is the machine that's getting the attachment for the log grab saw. Done the 160-5. Like I say, this one's different. It's got a different valve chesting, which means that there isn't a plate you can take off the top of here, put an extra slice in and then put the plate back on top. So how we're going to combat that, this is what I was doing in that when I was up at HQ the other day. I was with my boss discussing it. We've got this valve here which we're going to put on there. The option spool is down there, so the option spool either works two-way, which gives you an open close, or it works one way, which is your hammer function. So you've got a pilot line going to that far side of the spool, which just pushes it one way, and it's got a shuttle valve on it. So what we'll do is we'll take the pipe off the bottom of the shuttle valve and cap it. We'll take the pipe off that side of the valve and this side of the valve and bring it up to here and put it in there and there, which will work this two-way. We'll take a pump feed from the pump, put it into here, and we'll have a tank line going that way somewhere. Then what I'm going to do, we've got the two outputs from here. Now I've got my pump feed, but there's nothing to tell the pump that I need oil. So the pump will just sit at idle basically when I try to operate the grab, unless I work another function. So I believe if I take a T off each pilot feed and put it onto here with a shuttle valve arrangement, this is PCC I think, that should wake up the pumps to give me, or pump, I only need one pump, it should wake up the pumps to give me a higher oil flow through here. So I thought I'll fetch this valve up and try and get a rough idea of what length my pipes need to be and things like that, and also where I'm going to mount this valve as well. So I'll probably try and make up a bracket that sits on top of here like that, and use that rusty stud there and maybe that one there. Make a sort of plate for this to sit on. Oh, it's a heavy bit of kit that. Oof. Make a plate to sit on there like that hopefully, and yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. So yeah, that's what I'm on with. Just get a tape measure now and have a weigh up what I need to do. So I am 100% caught up now. There is pretty much nothing outstanding for me to do now. It's been quite a quiet week with the phone. Couple of jobs that need parts ordered for. Obviously I've got that 160-7 up in the woods to go back to and service either next week or the following week, because it's just less than 100 hours off a service. That 160 that I did service yesterday, that there, was it yesterday, day before, I had to work light for it, the 4 work lights on the top of the cab, one of them was flickering, that's got water in it, so I've got that to go back to. So yeah, pretty much all caught up. There's a little DX10 as well in Carlisle that needs servicing, but he generally brings that in for a service, so I'll phone him up and see what he's wanting to do about that. But yeah, as it is at the moment, not got much on, which is quite nice considering the last two and a half months has been pretty full on. So it's nice to be able to kind of chill. So I'll probably, before I go home tonight, I'll just drop the service manager a message and say I'm caught up if they need help doing. let us know. So yeah, what I've been doing just the last half an hour there, I've been basically writing down clearly my shopping list from what I measured up on the machine today, and I've been sort of putting the fittings in so I know what fittings I'm going to have where. Yeah, that's where I'm up to. I'm going to tidy up now and head home because 5 o'clock, bang on 5 o'clock. So yeah, I'm going to pack up, go home and see what there is to do in the morning. Friday morning up at HQ. I've come up here because obviously I'm worked up and got this to kind of what's the word, modify and adjust. So what we're doing today is taking the pipes off the hammer circuit, putting them onto the dozer valve, taking those pipes off the dozer valve and putting a changeover valve for the rotate kit, so you'll be able to change between rotate, flick a switch and use the thumb wheel to lift and lower his blade. And he wants the hammer circuit or the two-way circuit on the dozer valve slice, all for a specific sort of operation. He does a lot of forestry roads and road building, so it's all for a certain sort of a job. So yeah, that's what I'm on with. Basically I need to make pipe to go from here onto here, there onto there, take them off, put them into a changeover valve along with the two pipes from the rotate valve onto a changeover valve, and then put the pipes up the boom. So yeah, 140 LC with a blade on it, but the blade isn't fitted yet. So yeah, that's what I'm at. So what I'm hoping is to move that fitting across to there and that fitting across to there, use the same pipes to go from there onto there and there across to there. That's the plan. It is it's a shorter distance from there to there than it is there to there, so I think that pipe might be a bit long. If I need to, I'll get some pipes made, but it'd be nice to keep it original, so if ever it's to go back to standard, the pipes are there to do that. Yeah, next what I need to do is the pilot pipe that moves the option spool two ways. I need to extend that pipe up onto here and the other side, and then the pipes that I've taken off there that fit in either side of the spool cap needs to go to tank, so that the option spool doesn't sort of what's it called, get pressured up and load up the pumps while the machine's working. That's the plan. So this is because on this side of the valve chest you've got the option spool as well as the slew motor, and so this customer does a lot of forestry roads and maintenance, so he's got a circular saw that goes on the end of the boom. When the circular saw is running, that demands a lot of oil flow, and when the circular saw is running, there's not enough oil flow to slew into the branch. So the idea is to move the option circuit to the other side of the valve chest, because you've got one pump running this side of the valve chest, one pump running that side of the valve chest. So the idea is to move it across so that one pump is allowing oil to go to the slew motor and the other pump is going to be running the attachment. That's the plan. Whether it'll work or not, I'm not sure, but my boss reckons it'll work, so we'll see what happens. It will mean though that you won't be able to run a one-way attachment on this machine, but as far as I know, that's all been given the green light. So to get the flow of oil up to the saw that is going to be running, we need a 16 or just less than a 16mm diameter pipework up to it. So we've got 1/2 inch fitting out the dozer valve, so we need to go from 1/2 inch up to 3/4. So we've put that fitting on a lathe and just reamed it out a bit. Should be okay. It's not taking massive pressure like, so slot that into there. The only thing is, if this fitting fails, then you'll not just get one off the shelf. You won't. So that's a HQ manufactured fitting. Right, I'll swap that other one out. Right, it's 1 o'clock now, lunchtime. I've done all I can get done today. Of course, I've come up here for the day to do a day's work, and there's a breakdown that can't wait till next week. So I've got to go and have a look at a 6-ton Terex dumper. Runs, cuts out, won't restart again. They've changed the fuel filters apparently, so maybe an electric lift pump. Anyway, I've got to the point now where the machine can be started and ran. We've swapped the hammer pipes, or the two-way pipes, up onto the dozer valve. I've used the original pipe, so if ever we need to, we can swap it back to standard. Same with the extension pipes for moving the spool. They are, these rubber pipes here are just extensions rather than pulling the whole pipe out and lengthening it, just so if ever we need to, again, we can set it back to standard. I have left that one undone actually, I need to go and put that one on. These pipes here are obviously coming off the either side of the spool back to tank, so it's not got any, it's not going to build any pressure in the spool out like that. Yeah, it does look a bit messy. This certainly looks messy, but it's just what we had in the stores to make the job work for the time being. It would have just gone straight onto there, but the height of it means I couldn't get the cover across here. Anyway, I'll be back at this next week to finish off the changeover valve for the blade and the rotate. Until I'm getting hungry, because I can't string a sentence together. I'll run that pipe on and better get away back through to Carlisle for this breakdown. Yeah, I've gathered up another job for next week as well, fitting a rotate kit on a 225. Brilliant. I think I'll be back up here next week to finish that 140. But I spotted in here when I was picking up my rotate kit, look. The new name. Develon machines are starting to come through already. I thought it wouldn't be till back end of the year before we were seeing them. There you go. You can see why they were desperate to have this dumper going. They're moving soil from here down into that bottom there. They're doing this all weekend. They've got not Arctic wagons, tipper wagons on. So it's cutting out, and yeah,
We've had 4,000 tonnes so far.
4,000 tonnes. 4,000 tonnes?
So far.
Bloody hell. It's all weekend?
Aye.
Christ. I'll replace this inline filter first anyway. This fuel filter's sitting full now, whereas that one was sitting empty and it was running and grabbing a gulp of air and cutting out. The fuel tank's a bit dirty, but we'll sit about for a couple of loads to make sure it's right. There we go, must have been that little inline fuel filter drawing air somewhere. When it was running, the inline filter was running sort of fairly empty, and put that new one on it. That lift pump drew the fuel through no bother at all. I thought it would have an electric lift pump, which is over there, but it's got a mechanical lift pump off the engine block, but it seemed to be pumping, so done 3 loads there now. Fella says it's like new. Magic touch. All the way back down here for 10 minutes work. Oh dear. Anyway, that's the 4th wagon that's just tipped there now. 3:30. I'll go back to the yard then and chuck all this stuff out. Right, I've just finished the second breakdown of the week, second breakdown of the day, second breakdown within the space of 2 hours. It was a dumper running up a road through a town, so it was very busy. Basically the brakes seized on. What caused that was build up of muck on top of the axle, blocking the axle breather. The pressure that came out of those axles when I took those breathers off after excavating them, it was unreal. So but yeah, I didn't film it because it was pretty hectic. So I'm going to wind the video up at that for today. I feel like it's been a bit bits and pieces, and I don't know, we'll see what it looks like when I come to edit it this evening. But I hope you all have a good weekend. I'm off on Monday, but I think I'm going to do a bit up at the farm over the weekend, so hopefully I'll have something for you to see on Monday, and then yeah, back to it on Tuesday. So have a good weekend. I'll see you in the next one.